Doctor warning, these 5 reheated foods increase the risk of pancreatic cancer. Dr. Victor Hale, last night, you probably reheated something, leftovers, rice, chicken, maybe a plate of vegetables. And I need you to know something as a doctor, that one habit, done with the wrong foods, is one of the most underreported risk factors for the deadliest cancer in the world. Keep watching, because what I'm about to tell you, most doctors will never bring up in a routine checkup: pancreatic cancer. I want you to understand what those 2 words actually mean, because most people don't, until it's too late. The pancreas sits deep in your abdomen, behind your stomach, in front of your spine. You cannot feel it. You cannot see it. And when something goes wrong inside it, you will not know. That is what makes pancreatic cancer so uniquely devastating. There are no early symptoms, no pain in stage 1, no warning sign in stage 2. By the time most patients feel something, a dull ache in the back, unexpected weight loss, skin turning yellow, the cancer has already spread. The 5-year survival rate for pancreatic cancer is less than 12%. That means if 100 people in this room were diagnosed today, 88 of them would not be alive in 5 years. I am not telling you this to frighten you. I am telling you this because prevention is everything when it comes to this disease. And prevention starts with knowing what is feeding the risk silently inside your own kitchen. I'm Dr. Victor Hale. I have spent over a decade studying the relationship between everyday dietary habits and cancer risk at the cellular level. And today I am going to walk you through 5 foods sitting in your refrigerator right now that, when reheated, undergo chemical transformations that research has directly linked to pancreatic damage, DNA mutation, and cancer cell proliferation. These are not exotic foods. These are not foods you eat once a year. These are foods most families eat every single week. Stay with me, because the habit you change after watching this video could be the most important health decision you make this year. Before I reveal the 5 foods, I need to give you the science behind why reheating is dangerous, because this is not a myth. This is chemistry. When certain foods are cooked, they develop compounds that are relatively stable, but when those same foods are reheated, particularly above certain temperatures, several dangerous chemical reactions occur. Reaction #1, nitrosamine formation. Foods rich in proteins and nitrates, when reheated, produce nitrosamines, compounds classified by the World Health Organization as Group 1 carcinogens. That means confirmed cancer-causing agents in humans. Nitrosamines have a specific affinity for pancreatic tissue. Reaction #2, lipid peroxidation. Reheating foods containing fats, especially polyunsaturated fats, causes those fats to oxidize and form toxic aldehydes, including acrolein and malondialdehyde. These compounds cause direct DNA damage in pancreatic cells. Reaction #3, heterocyclic amine production proteins. Reheated at high temperatures produce heterocyclic amines, HCAs, which have been shown in multiple peer-reviewed studies to promote tumor formation in the pancreas, colon, and liver. Reaction #4, bacterial toxin release. Some foods, when cooled and reheated improperly, allow bacterial growth that produces heat-stable toxins, toxins that survive the reheating process and trigger chronic low-grade inflammation in the digestive system, including the pancreas. Chronic inflammation is not just uncomfortable, it is the biological environment in which cancer grows. These are not hypothetical risks. These are documented, repeatable chemical processes observed in laboratory and epidemiological research worldwide. Now, let's talk about the 5 specific foods where these reactions are most dangerous. Rice. It seems so harmless. In fact, it seems like one of the safest things you could eat. But reheated rice carries a risk that most people, including most general practitioners, have never discussed with their patients. When rice is cooked and then left to cool, even in the refrigerator, a bacteria called Bacillus cereus begins to multiply. Unlike most bacteria, Bacillus cereus produces spores that survive cooking temperatures. So when you reheat that rice, you kill the bacteria, but you do not destroy the toxins it has already released. Those toxins, specifically cereulide, enter your digestive system, irritate your gut lining, and trigger an inflammatory response that places direct stress on your pancreas. Your pancreas produces digestive enzymes and regulates blood sugar through insulin. When it is constantly subjected to gut-derived inflammatory signals, the cells lining the pancreatic ducts undergo stress, and stress cells over time mutate. A 2019 review in Alimentary Pharmacology and Therapeutics identified chronic gut inflammation as a significant independent risk factor for pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma, the most common and deadly form of pancreatic cancer. What to do instead? If you cook rice, eat it fresh or refrigerate it within 1 hour. Consume refrigerated rice within 24 hours. Reheat it only once, to a full steaming temperature throughout. And if rice has been sitting out for more than 2 hours at room temperature, throw it away. Do not reheat it. The toxins are already present. Bacon, sausage, hot dogs, deli ham, pepperoni. The reheated breakfast plate. The leftover pizza pulled from the fridge at midnight. The sausage added to pasta heated up the next day. Processed meats are already classified by the World Health Organization as Group 1 carcinogens in their original form, before you even reheat them. Here is what reheating does to make them significantly worse. Processed meats contain sodium nitrite, a preservative used to maintain color and prevent bacterial growth. When sodium nitrite is exposed to high heat, the kind of heat in a microwave or a frying pan, it reacts with the amines naturally present in meat proteins to form nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are among the most potent pancreatic carcinogens ever identified in research. A landmark study published in the International Journal of Cancer found that individuals who consumed the highest levels of processed meat had a 67% higher risk of developing pancreatic cancer compared to those who consumed the least. And that was for processed meat eaten normally, not reheated, where nitrosamine formation accelerates dramatically. I want you to think about the number of times you have taken leftover bacon from the refrigerator and thrown it back in the microwave for 60 seconds. That 60 seconds at that temperature is producing compounds inside that food that your pancreas was never designed to handle. What to do instead? Do not reheat processed meats, period. If you eat them freshly cooked, once, and discard the leftovers. Better yet, reduce processed meat consumption overall. The cancer risk begins before reheating. Reheating simply amplifies it dramatically. This one is going to surprise you because spinach, kale, chard, beet greens, these are foods we associate with health, with vitamins, with cancer prevention. And eaten fresh, that reputation is entirely deserved. But reheated? The story changes completely. Leafy green vegetables are naturally high in nitrates. Nitrates on their own are not dangerous. In fact, they are beneficial. They support cardiovascular health and blood pressure regulation. But here is what happens when you reheat spinach. The heat activates bacterial enzymes present on the leaf surface, enzymes that convert nitrates into nitrites. And nitrites, as I explained with processed meat, combine with proteins during heating to form nitrosamines. The very vegetable you are eating for your health becomes a nitrosamine delivery vehicle the moment you put it back in the microwave. This is not speculation. The European Food Safety Authority has formally warned against reheating nitrate-rich vegetables for this exact reason. They specifically call out spinach, lettuce, celery, and beet greens as foods that should never be reheated. For pancreatic health specifically, a 2021 study in Pancreatology Journal identified elevated dietary nitrosamine exposure as a statistically significant predictor of pancreatic inflammation and malignancy risk. What to do instead? Cook leafy greens fresh, every time. If you have leftover cooked spinach, eat it cold in a salad, add it to a smoothie, or discard it. Never microwave it. Never reheat it on the stove. The nutritional cost is small. The carcinogenic risk is not worth it. Reheated chicken. This is the big one. The one that affects almost every household in the world. Leftover chicken is a staple of meal prep culture. Cook once, eat 3 times. Efficient, economical, convenient, and for most people, genuinely dangerous. Here is the science. Chicken is one of the highest protein meats available. When high-protein foods are reheated, particularly at the temperatures used in microwaves and ovens, the protein structures denature and reform in ways that produce significant quantities of heterocyclic amines, HCAs. HCAs are among the most studied dietary carcinogens in existence. The National Cancer Institute has directly identified HCAs as compounds that cause DNA mutations in the cells lining the pancreatic ducts. the precise mutations associated with pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma. But the risk with reheated chicken goes beyond HCAs. Chicken, particularly when stored and reheated improperly, also develops elevated levels of oxidized cholesterol. Oxidized cholesterol triggers a specific inflammatory pathway called the NF-κB pathway, a pathway that researchers have identified as a key driver of pancreatic cancer cell survival and proliferation. You cooked a healthy chicken breast, you stored it properly, you reheated it the next day, and in doing so, you transformed a clean protein source into a food producing HCAs and oxidized cholesterol, both of which create the exact biological conditions in which pancreatic cancer grows. What to do instead? Eat chicken fresh whenever possible. If you must store it, slice it cold and eat it in salads, wraps, or cold dishes. If you must reheat it, do so only once, at a low temperature slowly with added moisture. Never microwave chicken at high power, never reheat it more than once. And the number one most dangerous reheated food, the one with the strongest, most direct link to pancreatic damage in the scientific literature, is not a food most people think of as dangerous at all. It is cooking oil. Specifically, food cooked in oil that has been reheated. Fried chicken, stir-fried vegetables, sautéed dishes, restaurant leftovers, takeaway food, reheated the next day. Anything that was cooked in vegetable oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, or any polyunsaturated fat, and then stored and reheated. Here's what happens at the molecular level. Polyunsaturated oils are chemically unstable at high temperatures. When they are heated once, they begin to oxidize. When they are reheated, that oxidation accelerates dramatically, producing a cascade of toxic compounds including acrolein, a known mutagen that damages DNA 4-hydroxynonenal, 4-HNE, direct link to cancer cell proliferation, malondialdehyde. MDA causes chromosomal damage in pancreatic cells, trans fatty acids reformed during repeated heating, driving systemic inflammation. A 2020 study published in Gut, one of the world's leading gastroenterology journals, found that dietary exposure to oxidized lipid byproducts was significantly associated with increased pancreatic cancer incidence, particularly in individuals who consumed reheated fried foods more than 3 times per week. Think about what you ordered last night. Think about the restaurant food you reheated this morning. Think about the stir-fry you made with leftover oil in the pan. Every one of those meals, if oil was reheated, produced compounds your pancreas is being forced to process. And the pancreas, unlike the liver, has no regenerative capacity. What is damaged stays damaged. What is mutated stays mutated. What to do instead? Never reuse or reheat cooking oil. Use fresh oil for every cook, a small amount. When storing oil-cooked food, reheat it in the oven at low temperature covered with no additional oil. Switch to more stable fats for cooking, coconut oil, ghee, or avocado oil, which oxidize far less aggressively under heat, and reduce your consumption of reheated restaurant and takeaway food. You have no control over what oil was used, how many times it was heated, or at what temperature. Let me give you the complete list one final time. The 5 reheated foods with the strongest links to pancreatic cancer risk. #5. Reheated rice Bacillus cereus toxins survive reheating. Chronic gut inflammation, for pancreatic stress, for DNA mutation. Rule: fresh only. Refrigerate within 1 hour. Eat within 24 hours. #4. Reheated processed meats. Nitrosamine formation accelerates dramatically under heat. 67% higher pancreatic cancer risk in highest consumers. Rule: never reheat. Reduce overall consumption. #3. Reheated spinach and leafy greens. Nitrates convert to nitrites or nitrosamines under heat. Even healthy vegetables become carcinogenic when reheated. Rule: always eat fresh. Never microwave cooked greens. #2. Reheated chicken HCA formation plus oxidized cholesterol = NF-κB inflammation pathway. Direct DNA mutation in pancreatic duct cells documented. Rule: eat cold or freshly cooked. Reheat only once at low heat. #1. Reheated cooking oils and oil-cooked foods. Acrolein, 4-HNE, MDA confirmed pancreatic mutagens, strongest direct link to pancreatic cancer in peer-reviewed literature. Rule: never reuse oil. Never reheat restaurant or fried food. I want to take a moment and speak to you, not as a researcher, but as someone who has watched what this disease does to real people and real families. Pancreatic cancer does not give warnings. It does not give second chances. By the time it is found, in most cases, the window for intervention has already closed. And that is what makes prevention not just important, but everything. The 5 foods I shared with you today are not exotic laboratory hazards. They are things you and your family are eating on a regular basis in your own home, believing they are safe. I am not asking you to overhaul your life overnight. I am asking you to make 5 specific changes to how you handle food in your kitchen, changes that take no extra time and cost nothing. That is it. That is the difference between a habit that protects your pancreas and one that quietly damages it over years and decades. Here is what I need you to do right now. First, screenshot the list of 5 foods before you close this video. Put it on your phone, put it on your fridge. The most important health information in the world is useless if you forget it by tomorrow morning. Second, walk to your kitchen right now or tonight before dinner and look at what you were planning to reheat. If it is on this list, make a different choice tonight. One meal, that is where every change begins. Third, share this video with someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a friend who meal preps every Sunday and reheats the same chicken all week. You may not be able to see what is happening inside their body, but you can give them the information that changes what they put into it. Click share right now. It takes 3 seconds. It could matter for decades. Fourth, subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications. Every week, I bring you research-backed, clinical-grade health information that most people never receive, presented clearly, honestly, and without anything to sell you. No supplements, no programs, just science. Fifth, leave me a comment below with this one answer. Which of these 5 foods surprised you the most? Was it the spinach? Was it the rice? Was it the cooking oil? Tell me, because your response shapes my next video. And if you have a question about something you eat regularly, ask it in the comments. I read every single one. Your pancreas has been working silently for you every single day of your life. It has never asked for anything. Tonight, give it something in return. I'm Dr. Victor Hale. Please, take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.